Hello guys, welcome back to this YouTube channel. So today I'll be doing an outlook for Euro USD, Pound USD, and some of the major pairs. So I'll be starting off with the dollar index here on the daily chart. So we've been very bullish all the way from uh July, sorry, March 2021 to July, August, something like that. But we've been bullish since last year. Like the dollar has been rising since last year, and we'll just be focusing on the current price action. That's we'll just be working with the last 60 trading days candle. That's from this day till this Friday till 20 sorry till 1st July. So it's like the last 60 trading days. So this is basically what we're working with. So here, and we'll try to note our trading range within that 60 trading days. That's since this is the lowest low from this day here, which was last week Friday, till 1st July. The lowest low here is actually this low, which also happens to be our structure low, and the highest high is somewhere within up here. So this is like our trading range. Like we don't have like an actual high yet. Can't really say that this is our highest high at the moment, but for the for the bullish scenario, we have our lowest low here. And for me, I think it's way more important than the highest high at the moment. So here we have bullish market structure. That's price breaking the previous higher high and making a new higher high. So um I don't consider this pullback here to be like my actual pullback, or I don't consider this low to be my lower sorry, my higher low. I still consider this to be my higher low. So until price breaks this low, the structure on the daily time frame will be bullish. So I'm just considering this to be some kind of demand range. So to me, this whole push up here is like a single push to me. So what I'm expecting is for price to pull back maybe into this demand zone here, which is essentially this demand range here. That demand zone is within this demand range here, or for price to pull back into this extreme demand zone, which is within this whole range here. So that's like what I'm looking at on the daily time frame, because we know that when the structure of the market is bullish, let me say here for example now, let me say when we say we have bullish market structure, we are talking about price making higher highs and higher lows. And when we talk about bearish market structure, we are referring to price making lower lows and lower highs. So the dollar index at the moment now is kind of bullish. It's not really kind of like, it's actually bullish because we are making higher highs and higher lows. But when we go over to like something like Euro USD or AUD USD, we can see that the structure will be bearish, because we are kind of like comparing euro to the dollar, and since we are doing that, if the dollar index, or let me just say if the dollar is bullish, euro USD and other pairs, like most of the other pairs should be bearish. They are kind of like doing the opposite of the dollar index. If the dollar is rising, euro, pound, AUD, USD, some of the major pairs should be bearish. That it should be like the opposite of the dollar index. So since we have bearish market structure, since we have bullish market structure here on the dollar index, we know that the Euro USD and Pound USD would be bearish, and we've been talking about them for like weeks. So here on the daily time frame, we know that when we know that there are like two phases of the market, not like the whole phase, but let me say when the structure of the market is bullish or bearish, we can say that there are like two phases within that bullish or bearish market structure. For example, here we have a bullish market structure. You can see that we have the pullback phase, which is what we had here. That's price pulling back, and then we have like the push phase, which is somewhere here. And it's just like they repeat they repeat like after one hour. Like let me say if we have after we've had a pullback phase, then we know that the next phase is most likely going to be a push phase. And then after that push phase, the next phase is likely going to be a pullback phase, and then it continues. So here we are in that push phase, like price is way up here, and we know that the market won't just continue pushing up, like it will have to pull back at some point, like, but we don't know when. So we'll try to maybe not really forecast when to pull back, but it's more like just trading the lower time frame, that's the 4 hour 15 minute, because those are the time frames that will indicate to us that price is most likely going to pull back even before the daily time frame, like indicates to like to pull back. It will be very visible on the 4 and the 15 minutes. So that's what we'll be using a lot. So we know that the daily time frame is most likely going to pull back. Maybe if not this week, it might be the next week. But here we are in that push phase. So most likely gets a pullback from the daily time frame. But then we still have to like follow the structure on the 4 hour until that changes. Then we'll just adjust our um bias as the week goes on. So so here we have this range. So we can look for some kind of bias within this range. Should price pull back into this range? So this is like our first zone here, which is this demand zone here, and we also have this S-trade zone here. We have some kind of sell side liquidity that we have this equal lows here. So this could be some kind of draw on liquidity for price. Price might want to take out this low before continuing up. So it's something we'll also look into. So going down to the 4 time frame. So the structure on the 4 time frame is also bullish. So let me say if this is a single daily push, when we drop down to the 4 time frame, this single push now we might start getting some kind of internal bullish market structure within that whole daily push. And if price is going to pull, but that is if we are going to get a daily pullback, we'll start getting some kind of bearish market structure within that pullback phase. So that's what we'll actually be trading. So here we can say that these are last um higher low. Yeah, because we know that we are bullish and price will make higher highs and higher lows. So this is like our last higher low on the 4 hour time frame. So, but then until price breaks this low, until we get like some kind of pullback and price kind of like breaks the low, then we can then look for sales within the new created supply range and then just try to take advantage of that daily pullback. But until that happens, we will have to keep following the structure on the 4 hour time frame. So here on the 4 hour, we are also in a push phase. So it's like we are both anticipating a pullback on the daily and also a pullback on the 4 hour time frame. So now, since the 4 hour structure will indicate to us when the daily time frame structure will be pulling back, that means the 15-minute time frame would also indicate to us when the 4 hour time frame is going to like pull back. So for us to maybe take sales from up here to maybe target some of these demand zones here, we need to like study what's happening on the 15 minutes. I want to study the structure on the 15-minute time frame and see how it aligns with our higher time frame idea. That's based because our idea now is that we want to look for some kind of pullback. Like we want to see price pullback. That's the whole idea on the higher time frame, that's the 4 hour and the daily time frame. So we need to see price align with that idea. Like we need to start seeing some kind of bearish structure. That's on the DXY 15-minute time. We need to start seeing some kind of bearish structure and stuff like that. Then we can see that the 4 hour time frame is most likely going to pull back. And when we start seeing that same berry structure kicking on the 4 hour, we can also say that the daily time frame is most likely going to pull back. So it's basically just combining time frames and then trying to understand them. So here on the 4 hour time frame, we are also in a push phase and we want to see price pull back into this range. And maybe if price should continue the bullish structure, it might just maybe mitigate this demand zone here and then continue up or come into this extreme demand here and then continue up. So this what we'll be looking at. So going over to the 15-minute time frame. So here, oh my God. So here on the 15-minute time frame, we have this to be our last lower high on the 15-minute time frame. So we want to see price break this low. This is around two. So I want to see price break below this low here. I want to see price pull back, break this low. Then we can see we've had that break in market structure on the 15. So you can either trade the first pullback, that's based on this 15-minute structure. You can either trade the first pullback or you wait for price to confirm the 15 minutes bearish structure and then take it on the second pullback and maybe look to target all these demand zones here. So we won't try to say, okay, this low should go because the daily time frame we want to see the daily time frame pull back. So we still need to focus on what the current price action is saying until the market shows us that it has broken structure and is going to pull back. That's the only time we can like start engaging in those sales. But as long as the market is still bullish, as long as the structure and other flow of the market is still bullish, we need to just stick to that bullish structure. We don't try to force anything. So I think that would be it for dollar index. That's DXY. So whatever we have here on the DXY, we kind of like invert it for Euro USD and Peso, since we have bullish structure, bullish order flow, and we are expecting some kind of pullback. That's some kind of bearish. We want to see bearish structure kicking in the market. That means on Euro USD, we have bearish structure and want to start seeing some kind of bullish structure. So going over to Euro USD, so the price action is basically the same, but just in the opposite direction. So we have bearish market structure, and as usual, we'll note our 60 trading days range. So from this high here, this is actually our highest high. This high here, like our highest high from the 60 trading days range. And but then I'm just using this high here because this is also my structure high here. So that's why I decided to use it as my trading range high and not this high here. So now we know that the market is in a push phase. It's just the same as dollar index. So we are in a push phase, and we know that after a push phase, we'll get some kind of pullback. That's we enter that pullback phase, and then the market will continue the push phase. So there are some zones we can look out for that push phase. So we can look at this supply zone here as one of those zones. We can look at this supply here. I think this is a 4-hour supply zone. We can look at the supply zone here, and then we can look at this extreme zone here. So these are the zones we are looking at for sales, or let's say for continuation of the bearish market structure. So over here on the 4-hour time frame, so the whole trading idea is just the same as that of the dollar index. We have this to be our last lower low on the 4-hour time frame. So we still want to see price. I say, okay, we have this engulf candle here. So we can still expect price to pull back into this zone, because the 4-hour structure is also in a push phase, just like we saw on the dollar index. 4-hour structure is also in a push phase. So we want to see some kind of pullback into maybe this supply zone. And since the structure hasn't changed, we will look for sales within this 4-hour range. So this is our range to get in some sales within the 4-hour range, and then just continue that bearish 4-hour structure. But until it changes, we just keep taking that sell. But at the back of our mind, we are also thinking, we are also looking for ways to get in on those daily pullback buys and stuff like that. But then you still need to focus on what the current price action is doing, because that's like the most important thing. Because when we start focusing too much on that daily pullback, we might not even get the pullback this week. Like price might just continue forming lower lows and lower highs on the 4-hour time frame. But on day it will just be like a single push, and then the whole week we might be looking for I say some kind of demand zones to the left, to start looking to the left, looking for demand zones. Let me just show you the example for example. We'll start looking for demand zones to the left. Okay, saying there are no demand zones left, to be honest. But that's like what I normally do back then. But me, I think it's way more better to look at the current price action and then just forget about what happened in 2000 or what happened in 1999. Like, it makes no sense. So just focus on this, and until we get that signs, that one, until price starts telling us that it wants to pull back, we try not to we try not to marry that whole pullback idea. Like, just try to focus on the current price action. So going to the 15 minutes here, 15 minutes time frame. So it's basically the same thing. We have this to be our last lower high on the 15-minute time frame. And then until price breaks this, then we can anticipate that 4-hour pullback. So if price pulls up and breaks this high, then we can look for some kind of buys. You can either wait for the confirmation, which is price pulling back to respect this range and then making a new higher high. Then you can get in the second pullback, and then maybe target this supply range here on the this 94-hour zone. So you can target this range, or maybe another maybe refined zone. I don't really have time to refine my zones, but and then look for refined zones within this whole range here. So that would be the whole idea. So yeah, so that's it for Euro USD. So going over to Pound USD, same price action. Like, yeah, I think I didn't really want to talk about Pound USD because I don't really know, but well, since I'm here, let me just talk about it. So these are trading range high, which is up here. That's from the last 60 days. These are trading range high, and to me, this is like a single push. I won't try to say, okay, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower, stuff like that. This a single push to me. So I'll still want to see price pull back. If price pulls back into this range and then maybe stops here and continues lower, that's actually okay. That for me, I'm fine by that. And if price decides to pull back higher into this range, that's maybe okay. If price decides to pull back higher into this supply range here, I won't start saying that this is a break of structure. I'll still look for some kind of sales within here, and then just take the sell to target this low. Because to me, this is not my structure high, this my structure high here. So that's how I'll be looking at pound USD on the daily time frame. 4-hour time frame, yeah, same thing as Euro USD and dollar index. If price, we still want to see price pull back and respect this range. If price respects this range, then we can still take sales to take out this low. But if price decides to break above this range, then we can maybe look for buys within here and see how it goes. 15-minute time frame is the same thing, like the price action is just purely the same. So I don't really have to waste much time on them. So here on the 15-minute time frame. So for me, this, well, on the 15-minute time frame, I would say this is my low here. This is my high, last lower low. I won't really start looking at this. For me, this is like just a single push. This is like a single push to me, and then this might be a construction. So I won't really consider what is minor movements here. This is just a range. So if you this a range. So that's just how I'm looking at it. And yeah, see how it goes. AUD USD, same price action. I think I should talk about AUD USD. So here on AUD USD, we have our treasury range high here. So I think this is the first time I'm covering AUD USD on this channel. Like the first time. So this my height high here. So let me just put this. Okay. So yeah, we have my highest high here, and we have this supply chain here. Like this could be some kind of liquidity, like price could be just building liquidity for this extreme supply zone here. Like for me, I've seen that a lot. Like when price starts creating supply chains like this, they are just building liquidity for maybe a later time, but we'll try not to focus too much on liquidity. So we just focus on structure because that is the most important. So we had our break of structure here. We have price breaking structure. So this is like a single push. So you can expect price to pull back into this range. So this is like engulfed hand. So normally I will use this candle because price engulfed these two bullish candles. So this is what I will use as like my whole zone. But I just don't want to map it out on the chart, so I just have to delete them. Maybe I might just pull a horizontal line there and then move to the lots. And let's pull horizontal line here. And yeah, still know that this is my range from here to the from this low here to this side is that range. Yeah, this is basically the zone I'm looking at. This is a 4 hour zone, and maybe even if price taps into this daily zone, it's still very much okay. And yeah, if price should pull back, because we know that we are in a push phase and we want to see price pull back. So if price should pull back, I'll mainly be looking at from here as my supply zone to look for sales. And maybe this extreme, I don't really see anything within here. So I'm just looking at this as some kind of buy side liquidity for this extreme supply zone here. So you can still expect price to pull back into the zone, and then you can look for that continuation. ADUS is actually very clean. That the price action here is actually very clean. So yeah, and next week I'll do a lot of trading next week. So I had to add more pairs. Added AUD and NZD I don't really have time for gold right now because gold is crazy, to be very honest. So I don't even want to look at it. So 4 hour time frame structure, we have our last lower high here, our last lower high here. So we want to see price pull back. If we get the confirmations needed for the sales, that's if we get that 1 minute break of structure, price confirming the structure on the 1 minute, and then we can still take the sell from the supply zone here and then still look to target this low. But if that doesn't happen, if price decides to break above this high, then we know that the daily time frame is most likely going to pull back into this range. Yeah, so we'll see how that one goes as well. And we also have this nice little kind of buy side liquidity here of this price and liquidity here. And I don't want to, I don't really want to look for zones within here, but if price decides to pull back up and respect any of these zones, then since I'm also trading the lower time frame, then I can still look for sales, to be very honest. But then I don't want to map out any zone from within here. Just see whatever price reacts to, as long as it's within this whole daily range, then you can just look for sales as long as it's within this whole, because these are long here and this the whole daily range. So as long as it's within this daily range, then I can still look for sales, I can still take sales. So that will be it for AUD, USD. Let's see if there's any 15-minute time frame. 15-minute time frame. Don't really want to look at anything here on AUD that's on the 15-minute time frame. I think it's best to wait for London session because the market just opened as today is Sunday. So the market just opened and I don't really want to look at anything within here. I'll just wait for price. I think that's during London session. I think it's a lot better to look at it. That's to look at the 15-minute time frame during London session, New York session. So see what we work with and see the direction we are trading from. But the most important thing is that you are trading the direction of the higher time frame. That's I should be trading the direction of the daily 4-hour time frame. So see how that one goes as well. So over here on NZUSD, NZD was this. I think there was some kind of cap here. Daily time frame, the same price action, nothing really. So this our highest high, last 60 trading days, these are highest high here, which is also our it's also our trading range high and also our structure high. So we have this with like a single push to me, we have our group construction. So on the daily time frame, that's based on the structure we have on the daily time frame. Want to see price pull back to maybe this range here or still into this refined one here, or we have another zone up here, this engulfed candle here, which was reacting to something here, something here. Then we also have this extreme supply range, which is actually here. So there are multiple zones to look at for NZD USD. We're going over to the 4-hour time frame. So as I said, the same thing as that of Euro USD, AUD USD, pound, like they are just the same thing. So until price breaks above this high, we are still bearish and will continue taking sales. That's it. And yeah, 15 minutes. 15 minutes, I think the 15-minute structure here is a lot clearer than that of AUD USD. Can easily say that these are last lower high. So until price breaks above this high, we are still in that forward push phase. But if price should break above this high, then we consider the forward time frame is more likely going to pull back before continue down, or maybe before we get that forward break construction. We don't really know yet. So guys, that's it for this week's market outlook. And I'm really sorry for not uploading an outlook video last week. I was busy with some other things. So yeah, that's it. And I really hope you enjoyed it and at least you learned something from it. And I wish every single one of you a successful trading week. So bye.